Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. I am Martina Lily and today I'm going to give you guys a full face of Sephora sale recommendations. These are not all of my only recommendations, but these are probably like some of my top of toppest picks in terms of the newer makeup that's been released over the last few months. So hopefully that sounds interesting to you guys. If it does, go ahead and do the YouTubey things, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get into it. You guys are zoomed in nice and close, 4K, no filters, and everything I use on my face today be linked in the description box down below for you guys. They are affiliate links though, so if you shop through them, thank you so much. This is, I know, a lot of people's favorite times of the year when the Sephora America and Canada does their, I guess, VIB sale is what you guys call it. In Australia, for example, with our Sephora, we actually have like 20% off everything sales. I want to say like every other month at this point in time. And I don't know about Europe and UK and all the rest of the world where there's Sephora's, but yeah, we have it quite regularly here. So predominantly my audience is based in America, and I know you guys really like to see these videos from me. Just a couple of quick little things. One, if you are from any other country, I just recommend these products in general. If it's sold at your Sephora or like over here in Australia, it's a mishmash of different places we can get them from, so it's just products that I recommend. Also, this is just a bit of makeup fun and just doing a look together and sharing some products that I love. If the Sephora sale time is a bit hard for you, especially this year, I know it can be, and a lot of people right now are putting up their recommendations or like massive Sephora hauls and stuff. It's totally okay to take a break. Even this one from me, like, I'll catch you in the next one. I get it, it can be triggering for some people, that kind of a thing, and if this is a tougher time for you on YouTube, which I know that sounds weird because it's like, you know, some people will be like, oh my god, it's just makeup, but I get it. Like, sometimes seeing all of the big hauls and that, it can be a lot. Like, it can put some different feelings on you. So if that's the case, big hug through the screen, and just, you know, maybe don't go on YouTube for a little bit, or you do you know, just do whatever you want. As you know, this is a judgment-free zone around here. Whether or not you're purchasing nothing in the sale or you're just going to spend thousands in the sale, you do you. Whatever makes you happy, we don't judge. Okay, so we're going to start with eyes, but quickly I'm going to put some of my Fenty Beauty lip oil in the shade Superfine Sugar on my lips. I can't remember when these came out now for the life of me, but this is still such a fave product of mine in terms of lip oils. I love it. I really want Fenty to come out with like the milky, creamy colored shades in these. Really, really love them. For eyes, we're going to use a combination of the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 3 palette. Now, I recently got gifted this in PR. I know, I died. And so I know this isn't brand new, but I just recently tried it and I really love it. So I'll tell you the reasons why when we use it. And then I'm also going to use it in conjunction with the new Danessa Myricks Lightwork Freedom palette because, oh, stunning. Let us prime the lids first though. My actual favorite eye primer at Sephora is the Rare Beauty eye primer, but I'm going to take the NARS one today because I've used up my Rare Beauty one and haven't repurchased yet, just because I have a few eye primers on the go right now. I also like the NARS one. You can't get it with the tint anymore. You can only get it with like a clear shade, but I do actually also really like the NARS one as well, and I think if you have oilier lids, you'll like the NARS one more than you like the Rare Beauty one. To begin with, I'm just going to take this Smith Cosmetics 237 brush, and I'm just going to go into a light little bit of this and just run it through the crease. So when this Major Dimensions 3 palette came out, I wasn't interested in picking it up, not because I don't like the brand or anything, but just because at the time I had the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes in my collection, and I just recently purchased the Vizier Neutrals Mattes palette. And I was like, I don't need another matte palette right now, okay? I just don't. Now I'm going to take this Rephr number 27 and go into this shade right here, which is one of my favorites in this whole palette. Absolutely beautiful. Now that I have tried all three, so the Mario Master Mattes, the Vizier Neutral Mattes, and this one, this is the one I recommend. And that's not because I got it in PR at all, truly. If I lost this right now, I'd actually repurchase it straight away. So I'm just going to start by like softly blending this through the crease. This matte formula is amazing. I mean, in all of Patrick's palettes, I've had Major Dimensions 1 and 2 before, and I've actually got one back because they sent me Major Dimensions 1 in PR as well, which is super lucky, but I had decluttered it originally. I'd had it a long time, but also it just wasn't a color story that I overly used a lot, so I just kind of decluttered them to people that would still get some use out of them. I just told them not to use like the eyeliners and stuff like that. But I always really loved the quality of the palettes. I love the quality of the mattes and all that kind of stuff. They just weren't colors that I was going to reach for a whole lot. However, these mattes in here, this all matte palette is exactly what I wanted in terms of like the Master Mattes and even the Viseart one. This color story where it's like the more cool tone and then the more like warmish but not too warm leaning is exactly what I have always wanted. I love the range in here. I really, really like the quality of the Viseart one. Still, I think that the Viseart formula is absolutely impeccable. So if you like the color story of the Viseart one more, then go for it. In terms of quality, they're both impeccable. But I do like this one much, much more than the Mario Master Mattes. I think that the Mario Master Mattes for me personally just leans a little bit too warm overall. And I don't actually like the formula of those mattes. They're not terrible. I just don't like the formula of those mattes as much as this one and even the Viseart formula. In saying that, the Mario like etherealized palettes, especially that new Moonlight one, which I have a review and 3 looks up on the channel if you're interested. The quality of those mattes is like incredible, incredible, incredible. And I personally think he should reformulate his Master Mattes palette with that formula because it is a lot better than his Master Mattes. But that's just my personal opinion. I am not a makeup artist and Mario knows more than me when it comes to makeup, so that's just my opinion. But in terms of this one, I love it. The quality is exceptional. Now I'm just picking up this Rephr Shoto 03 brush and I'm going to go into this one right here and just build up some depth in the crease. These Shoto brushes from Rephr are really good at defining creases, especially if you have little hooded eyes like me. So I'm just gonna softly blend that through here. So yes, if you're looking for an all matte palette from Sephora, this is the one that I recommend the most personally. It's just such a good quality. This is just that Rephr 27 with no extra color or anything on it. I'm just gonna softly do that. But do let me know if you guys are shopping. I've probably asked this in another video already. Also, if I should have another, if it's not up already, it's coming very, very soon. An actual like just talking head type Sephora recommendations video. And then I'm also going live on Blair's channel. I want to take a stab in the dark and say I'm already done that on Blair's channel, so I'll try and remember to link it down below, where we basically just hang out for like 3 hours and go through the Sephora website and answer your guys' questions in the live chat and give our recommendations on what we personally think is worth picking up in the sale and maybe like what we're looking at buying, that kind of a thing, what we think you should stay away from or we would stay away from, that kind of a thing. So that's there as well. So there is going to be a lot of content there for you to consume should you wish to. We're going to leave that there for now. A product that I recommend always is the Pat McGrath Labs Intensify Stick. It's basically, I guess, kind of like a glitter glue. I love it. If you have hooded eyes or you like using a lot of metallic shadows, this is the product you need. I have used it ever since she released this. I always have like 3 in backup. I've gone through so many of them. They're great. If you have hooded eyes, it's going to stop any fallout getting on your face, and it just also really extends the wear time of your eyeshadow. Let's dip into this stunning palette now, and I want to go into this shade today, and I'm going to take it on my finger, but I will have just this Danessa Myricks MY24 brush handy just to finesse the edges, but these are more opaque with using your finger. And the thing that I love about this Freedom palette versus the previous one that she brought out is there is no fallout to these shadows, because they're kind of like, some of the formulas in here is kind of like a cream formula, and they're spectacular, truly spectacular. I have a full review on my channel using this palette where I did 4 looks, and I also did in-depth swatches. So if you want to see more inspo for this palette, definitely go check out that one. But just spoiler alert, I really think this is worth it. It's also very versatile. You can like remove all these things, you know, check out the review if you want to know, I guess, all about it. But ooh, that shade is amazing. Look how gorgeous that is. Now the other eye. Oh, I like this shade. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm just going to take the smallest amount of this one too, just because we're here and why not. I'll just sprinkle it. You won't probably even see the difference that that makes on camera, but in person you can. It just adds it a little bit of vibrancy and glitter specks, which I'm never mad at. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Jumping back into my Patrick Tar palette, I'm just going back into that Shoto with that deeper brown and marrying here. I don't want anything too intense or anything today, so we're actually just going to leave this here and move on to our base makeup. One product that you guys know I have been ranting and raving about non-stop since I tried it is the Rephr Eye Balm. I can't recommend this enough, especially if you have dry under eyes or mature under eyes. Oh, it is such a phenomenal product. It adds, I still use eye cream, but I have very dry under eyes, and so it adds an extra layer of hydration for me, as well as kind of just like smoothing out the under eye, and it just makes my under eye concealer wear so much more beautifully throughout the day. This is probably the #1 product I recommend if you're only going to pick up like anything from the sale. Truly, big call, I know, but I love it. This one is just a nice to have if you're interested, but this is the Patrick Tar Dewy Milk Mist. And this is just for those of you that maybe have really dry skin or normal skin or like that kind of glowy look to the skin. This isn't a setting spray, it's just a hydrating face mist. So I like to put it on before primer. And it just feels really lovely and cooling on the skin, especially for me. I'm going into summer right now and it's starting to get quite hot. You could also put this on like once you've done powder and stuff, just to like really bring back the hydration, but I like to add it in at this step. That one isn't a must-have, just a nice to have. For primer, I'm going to take one of my faves, which is the Guerlain 24K primer. So I recently got like a tester of this product and loved it so much that I had to pick up the full size. The reason why I love this particular primer is because it's kind of nice and hydrating and lightweight and cooling on the skin while having a very small amount of tack to it. So I just find when I wear this primer, my foundation like grips to it and really just extends the wear time of it. It's not blurring on my skin at least, but it's just nice with the little bit of hydration and cooling that it has, and then that like grip. I really, really, really like it. Surprisingly so, I didn't actually ever anticipate to like that one. I always recommend my Tarte Green Color Corrector. This is my second one that I've gone through all these. It never looks like it on camera usually because of my white balance, but I do have quite a bit of redness. I used to use the Sephora Green Color Corrector, but I do prefer this Tarte one. I just think the finish and the tone of the green is a lot nicer for my skin, but that's obviously only if you need one. Oh, this is a Sigma F48, by the way. My favorite color corrector at Sephora is not a new one at all. I've raved about this for a very long time. It's the Natasha Denona color corrector. This is in the shade C1. This is really, really good. I also like to sometimes mix it with the Rare Beauty eye brightener, but right now I need the deep shade because my under eyes are feeling a bit dark because I didn't get a lot of sleep over the weekend. This is a Smashbox concealer brush, which I don't know if I don't think they sell these at Sephora in the US, but if they do, I highly recommend the Smashbox brushes. But I feel like you guys already know how good these Natasha Denona color correctors are, and like the Natasha Denona concealer is. This one is definitely, apart from the Sigma color corrector, this is definitely my favorite color corrector that I've ever tried. And then for foundation, I'm not using anything but this Dior stick, and I'm not recommending anything but this because honestly this is my favorite foundation. I own this in the shade 1N. I have a full review of this on my channel, and I have been ranting and raving about how much I love this product since I got it months ago, and I feel no differently. I just think this is one of the best products going around this year, truly. I really, really do. This is an NY1, and I'm just going to use it to blend it out. I just love this. It's smoothing. It has a really nice level of hydration to it that doesn't make my combination skin oilier throughout the day, but it just because of the hydration and it keeps like the hydration sustained all day as well. It just makes my skin look really kind of like I've just put my skincare on in a really nice way, like all day. And again, without like making it extra greasy or anything on the skin. I mean, I need to set this, but I need to set like every foundation. I've never met a foundation for my skin type that I don't need to set. But I just love it, and I love how smoothing it is. I love how natural. It's really like your skin but better. And it just doesn't settle in fine lines. It wears so well. I love everything about this product, I really do. The concealer that I'm recommending the most for the Sephora sale is the Westman Atelier concealers. Ugh, these are so, so good. I've been, again, ranting and raving about how good these are for ages now. I have L2 and L1, and I just like to layer them. I have a full review of these concealers where I do a wear test, and then I also have a full face of Westman Atelier that I just recently put up. So there's plenty of places you can check out my in-depth thoughts on these, but I love them and think they are truly one of the best concealers on the market. This is just my MY8. I love that these are a buildable coverage, and you can really get these up to be a full coverage. And the other thing I love about these, actually there's two other things. One, I like that they just blend out where you apply them, and they're not like too spreadable. I really like that, so it just concentrates exactly where I want the coverage. And then two, this is the only concealer I have ever tried that if I didn't want to set my under eyes with powder, I don't need to, and it looks exactly the same from how I would apply it now to what it will look like at the end of the day after wearing it for like 8 plus hours. So I just, and it also just, the way that the product has been designed, it like has these really micro like hyaluronic acid like skincare beads in it or something, and it just kind of keeps your under eye like hydrated nicely all day. It's wonderful, wonderful product, truly. You know what my favorite cream contour at Sephora is right now. It's the Dior contour stick. This is so good. I love the shade. It's just such a perfect neutral shade for me. It's a beautiful emollient, easy to blend formula. It wears so well. I love the natural finish. I just love every single thing about this product. I love the packaging, everything. It is so, so good. This is just my Sonia G Sheer Buffer. I mean, how many of you actually, I feel like so many of you have tried this product after me like raving so much about it. Let me know if you've tried it and if you love it as much as me, or if you're thinking of trying it. I can't recommend it enough. Very, very beginner friendly. Very beginner friendly, trust me. Like, look how easy it just blends. And honestly, I've put too much on. You really need less than this. A little bit goes a long way. I'll be surprised that I'm heavy-handed. And if you are heavy-handed like me, just grab your sponge. Just go over it. I'll like soak up all the excess product for you. My favorite powders in my collection are not actually sold at Sephora. Say it with me. Chanel Loose Powder, my holy, holy grail. Face Atelier Glass Skin, holy grail. But there are quite a few that I really enjoy at Sephora. Older ones, I think the best powder that I could recommend at Sephora as a whole is actually the Kosas Cloud Set powder. Those are still, I think, what was it, like 4-ish years ago, maybe 3, that those came out, and I still just think they are one of the best quality powders on the market, truly. Especially, like, I think if you have oily skin, you'd need to take it with you through the day to touch up, but like for my combination skin, I can set it using that powder and it will last me all day. If you have dry skin, normal skin, I think you will love them as well. They're a really nice powder where they set, but they also like keep your hydration levels, and it's like a natural, it's not a flat matte finish, but it's not like a glowy finish. They're wonderful, honestly. I've been through so, so many. Currently though, out of the new releases, one I do recommend is the Tower 28 pink, it's called Get Ready, Get Set Blur. I have a shade Palisade Pink, which is honestly more like a light beige than a pink. This is a BKN14, by the way. This is really, really nice. I like it as an under eye powder, and also if you have really really oily skin or like combination skin, you'll probably actually quite like this all over the face. It's quite a mattifying and blurring powder. You could use it if you have dry skin as well, or normal skin, just use a like smaller amount, because you might find it's like too drying otherwise. You do you. This is just tips from someone who loves makeup, not a makeup artist, okay? But I do like it to set my under eyes. Like, look how much of a good job it does. Actually, this powder really reminds me of the Pat McGrath Labs under eye blurring powder. So if you really like that and you've been wanting that in like a big compact for all over your face, you'll actually really like this one. And then I also just want to touch on the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin. To be honest, if you have, I like to take it with a powder puff, by the way. If you have combo oily skin, unless you don't mind touching up throughout the day, it's not one that I overly recommend, just because I don't find this to like set and forget my skin as much as like the Chanel or the Face Atelier, that kind of a thing. Even the Laura Mercier Ultra Blur, it's similar. It's the closest that I've got to the Laura Mercier Ultra Blur, but even it's not as like, I guess, mattifying. So it doesn't like keep, I find, my oils at bay for as long. When I say as long, it does a pretty decent job for about 6 hours, but then I need to like touch up with it. Whereas I don't like to touch up throughout the day, and I have powders, like I said, that I can just put on in the morning and that's it. I don't need to do anything else for the rest of the day. However, I will say it's very blurring on the skin. It is very blurring. It looks lovely like that. And I think, I guess, if you are someone that doesn't want too much of a mattifying powder, or again, you have like that dry normal skin, you'll probably really like that one as well. I'm just going to do a speed through of my brows. The brow products that I recommend is the Rephr Brow Pomade. I really like this. It has like the little pointy bit and then the pomade here. I really, really like this. It's very easy to use. And then the two brow products that I'm just like hands down recommending is the Urban Decay Big Bush Brow and the Slick Brow Gel. Ugh, they're my favorite. So I'm just going to speed through me doing these. All right, so I have brows. They're very distant cousins today and they're a bit bold, but that's okay. I went a bit overboard. What else is new? So let's finish the eyes. Now, once I've put my brow products on, I always then take like usually a stick foundation. So I'm just gonna use the one I used today. And I've just got like a MY40, so just like a lip brush kind of thing. And I do this every time I do my makeup or brows at all. Is I then go under here and just lightly just kind of tidy up underneath here. And then what I do is I take a Sigma E25 and I always go into either like my face powder, or if I have like this palette right here, I'm gonna take this bone shade and mix a little bit of this kind of creamy shade together. And then I just go in and like blend where I've drawn that foundation into the eyeshadow so that it all just blurs into one. And then if I need to, I just go back slightly into the transition shade, that Rephr 27, and I'll just softly, like I can't tell you how soft I'm touching my eyes at this point, and I just softly do that a little bit if I need to. So for lower lash line, I'm going to take my Sigma E36 and go into, yeah, this one right here, just under here. I don't know if Sigma E36s are sold at Sephora, because I know they do have some Sigma brushes, at least in the Australian one. But if you can get this, I recommend it. It's the best under eye brush. And then just a little pencil brush, I'll go into the darker brown. For the inner corner, I'm going to go into this stunning white one here from Danessa, the Freedom palette, just with a Sonia G pencil brush. And I'm going to pop it in here and then like swoop it up into here. I love these like white shifty shades in this palette. So, they're so pretty. I love them. Just add a little something, something. I really, really recommend these Bobbi Brown eyeliners from Sephora. this is in the shade Fog. I'm just going to line my top waterline with it. I have this shade and the shade Khaki, and I love how unique these shades are. They don't irritate my eyes. I think they're an awesome product, like an awesome eyeliner. And then I'm just going to chuck my Victoria back in my brightener on my lower waterline. For mascara, I wanted to highlight one that I personally really like that doesn't get a lot of attention. I know this is one that you're going to either really like or you're not going to like at all, but I wanted to tell you why I like it. So this is the Rephr mascara, and it has this really weird kind of thin applicator, and that's why I like it. I find for my little eyes, it does a really nice job of getting in here to the root and like lifting my lashes up. It's not a mascara that I use if I want like my lashes to look like Varvoom falsies, but it's a nice everyday mascara, and it's really good for the lower lash line. Really good. Because it's so nice and thin. So I really like this. It doesn't flake or anything. But again, it's one that you'll either really like this applicator or you'll really hate it. Okay, eyes are all done. Oh, they're pretty. Moving on to bronzer. The bronzer that I recommend the most is the Lancome Tinted bronzer, but I had a look and it doesn't seem like that's sold on Sephora US, weirdly. So the most recent bronzer that I can see that I really recommend on the Sephora website is the YSL All Hours. Very similar to the Lancome, and if you're very pale, like even paler than me, then you'll actually like this one more because this shade's going to be perfect for you. So this is the shade 1, and it looks like too light, but when I actually apply it, it's very stunning. It's very much a subtle bronze effect on my skin. So if you are heavy-handed with bronzer or you find bronzer intimidating in my skin tone, then you'll really like this shade. And the formula is very blurring, very buildable, long wearing. So I do like the formula. It's just I really like the Lancome Tinted took it to another level, but this one is still gorgeous, and I really like the packaging of this one. This is just a Pat McGrath Labs bronzer brush, by the way. But see how subtle it is? Just the softest like hint of bronze on the skin. It's perfect like that. For liquid highlight, the newest one that I recommend is the Danessa Myricks Low Lighters. I haven't really tried any other new highlighter, like liquid highlighters so much this year, but I really like these, especially if you've got oily skin. These will keep your oils at bay. 2, if you just want the softest of soft glows, but you want it to be very subtle, then you will like this. Does not enhance texture at all. You can also use these as like a blush topper on your eyes, on your lips. I've used these on the eyes before, and this shade in particular, which is low key by the way, looks really lovely on the eyes. These are actually a really nice product. They don't get the hype, but I really like them, and I like them for the purpose that they're intended for, which is that like low light, right? Like not an in your face one. Again, I have like a full review of all the shades of those on my channel as well. And then to set that, the powder highlight I recommend the most is the Fenty Beauty Demi Glow highlighters. These are so good. This is just the Rephr AA01. Oh my goodness, these are so natural. You can build them up a bit, but not like too much. But see, I mean, that's pretty blinding if you ask me. Non-texturizing. You can also apply less, and they're even more subtle on the skin, and they're like, oh, they just melt in. They look absolutely gorgeous. I've probably built this up way more than I normally would, but I love these. Again, no one really raves about these, and I don't understand why, because they're such a beautiful, natural, like your skin lit from within glow. Doesn't make sense to me, but they're brilliant. For blush, I really recommend the Danessa Myricks like 4 flushed holiday blush set, which I used in a video, like a recent video this week, so check it out if you want to see it there, and I did swatches of them. But I also recommend this YSL Make Me liquid blush. This is in the shade 44. Simply Blair, she sold it to me, honestly. She tried it in one of her live streams and it just looked stunning on her, and it's such a pretty kind of like pinky nude shade, if you will. I love it, and it applies so beautifully. So I just take it on my sponge. It's kind of like a, like a, oh, I don't even know how to describe it. It's actually, they kind of remind me of the Glaminatrix lip and cheek tints a little bit. Very buildable. Like I can build this up a lot more, I just don't want to. I like how subtle they can be, but you can build them up more. I love the little soft tint of color, and I like how they're blurring but not too mattifying or anything. They're very lovely. They're very long wearing. Well, at least this shade anyway. That's the only one I have. But I really like it. Again, I could build that up more, but I don't want to. I just think that's such a beautiful everyday shade. And then the powder blushes. These are a Run Don't Walk. This is the Fenty Beauty. What do they call these again? Suede powder blush. This is in Baking Cakes. You guys, these are so, so good. So, so good. I've only tried the matte ones, to be fair. I'm really not a shimmer blush person, but I can't get enough of these. It's one of the best blush formulas I've ever tried. It's kind of like, oh, no. I was going to say it's like the Lancome Tinted or Bronzer Banana Blush, but it's not. It's similar though, where it's like buildable and blurring and long wearing and just absolutely stunning. This is my Smashbox cheek brush. I can absolutely see myself just like collecting more and more of these shades over time from Fenty. Like they nailed it. Look at it. Oh, it's just perfection. I just recommend them so much. Setting spray. Now this isn't a setting spray for everyone, but if you, one, have really dry skin, normal skin, or you just like to add a lot of hydration to your skin with a setting spray, you will love the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Setting Spray. Or if you're like me and like to use your setting spray to really melt all of your products into your face and make it really just skin-like, then you will also really like this. So I just spray it on my sponge. If you have oily skin, I'd really tread carefully with this one though. I don't necessarily find this to prolong my makeup wear time. If anything, yeah, I don't find it to do that, but I do think it melts everything in. Kind of like, you know how MAC Fix Plus does it, sorry? It's kind of like what this does, or is what this does. Ugh. But it's not gonna like really keep everything locked in, especially if you have combo oily skin. So that's where this like One Size On Till Dawn setting spray is going to come in. If you want something that really is, it's like, feels like hairspray on the face, truly. If you have dry normal skin, don't even bother, it's going to be too drying on you. But if you have combo oily skin, I've come to realize this is really going to keep your makeup locked in. But it truly feels like, I mean, it doesn't feel like hairspray on the skin, but it kind of does at the same time. It doesn't make your skin feel like tight or anything, but it's just how it goes on. It feels like hairspray and it smells like hairspray. This isn't a new product and I recommend these all the time, but for my finishing touch now, I always recommend the Makeup Forever HD Skin Powders Foundations. I've gone through that. That's 1N6. I've got another one right here to use once this is completely done. I am obsessed, and how I like to use this is I take my MY3 and at this point I like to just reset in here because my darkness is usually starting to come through, and just reset through the T-zone so that it extra keeps my oils at bay. Just kind of like softens any harsh lines as well that I've potentially created. You can obviously skip this, like I said, just tips from someone who loves makeup, not a makeup artist. Now for lips, the lip liner I recommend the most is one of the new Tom Ford lip liners, or just any shade of these. This is the most long wearing lip liner I've personally ever tried, truly. So this one is in the shade Irresistible, and I love the shade and I just love how long wearing this is. I can't stress enough how much long wearing this is. Doesn't bleed or anything. It's brilliant. And then these aren't new, but the Patrick Ta Silky Lip Creams are phenomenal. This is in the shade She's Independent. I have a reel of me lip swatching all of these. These are so good. If you want a satin lipstick feel where it's like hydrating on the lips and doesn't look matte, but wears like a liquid lipstick, not as long as a matte liquid lipstick, but pretty like we're talking 5+ hours, I find personally. You want these. These are so good, and I love this shade. Did I say She's Independent is the shade? Like, you need to stop it right now. brilliant. These are brilliant and I love, love, love this shade. And then I also really love the Dior Lip Maximizer in the shade 38. So I'm just gonna pop a touch in the center, because why not? All right, let me zoom out and we will wrap up and see the final look. All right, that is my full face of like my top current Sephora recommendations from like new makeup recently released. I will link all down below all of my other Sephora recommendations videos, but honestly, if you go through my channel, there's a heap of reviews on quite a lot of these products and other like popular products at Sephora and stuff, where you can see like in-depth reviews and that if you're interested. And I have like heaps of speed reviews and stuff. So if you want and need any recommendations, it's all there for you should you wish. But let me know your thoughts on this look, and if you have any of these products, let me know what you think, and if you are eyeing any of them off, let me know what you think. And if you are watching till this point, you know you're an absolute legend. Thank you so, so much. Extra special shout out to my Lily absolute legends and all my channel members here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I truly appreciate all of your support, and I hope you have the most amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye.